I actually just got off a call with one of the Not Overthinking members. He's in Singapore where they have to do like a 2 year military service stint between secondary school, high school, and university. And yeah, we were kind of talking about this. It always like my friends at university who were from Singapore, they sort of struck me as like a lot more mature. I mean, they're like 2 years older, so that's part of it. But I think also like having this 2 year period where you're outside of the education bubble just seems like a really valuable thing because for, people like us who just kind of go through school, which is very much like a bubble of being surrounded of people by people exactly your age, thinking exactly the same things as you, and then like immediately you go into university, which, there's a bit, maybe you interact with slightly older people a little bit, but broadly you're sort of stuck in this bubble of people exactly the same age as you, thinking exactly the same things as you, and having this sort of 2 year stint in between high school and university where you're out of that bubble in the real world, interacting with people of all ages, and so on. It just seems like a really valuable thing. What do you reckon?
Yeah, one of my mates from med school is also Singaporean and was like 3 years older than all of us, and yeah, I'm not sure we're more mature, but like I think it is like a valuable thing to do.
There's like an interpretation of maturity which I think is very like naive and surface level of like, oh, you don't laugh at like certain jokes anymore because you're mature or whatever. That's not really what I'm talking about. I mean, the thing that this chap was mentioning was that I think he's coming towards the end of his 2 year stint, and it's just been like a couple of years of sort of staring into the void and trying to figure out what you want from life, and then like all of this kind of stuff. And I think there's a level of maturity that comes with that. Whereas if you're stuck in the education industrial complex without any breaks, then I don't think you really get that opportunity to the same extent, and you don't really have to think for yourself at all. The path is just kind of
Yeah.
laid out for you. Everyone else is doing stuff. You want the validation of your peers, and you're kind of doing the same things and so on.
Yeah, this is something. So I was talking to our friend Paul, who is my Singaporean friend, like about this yesterday. We were we were just catching up and spitballing ideas around, this question of how do you figure out what to do with your life, which I'm A, trying to figure out myself, and B, trying to figure out a framework for writing in the book. And one thing that he said, which was very interesting, was that he said that you want to think about what's the playbook, and is there a playbook for the area of life in which you're currently at. So I think when you're in school and you're, let's say, a nerd in school, the playbook is I want to get really good grades so I can get to a really good university, and it's a pretty clear path forward. Like what you have to do to get there.
Yeah,
When you're at university, or like certainly if you're a medical student, the playbook is I need to get through my exams. I need to try and do somewhat well. I need to maybe rack up a publication or two so I can optimize my chances to get a decent foundation year job 6 years down the line. When you're in that foundation year job, the playbook is okay, I need to make it through the next 2 years and decide what specialty to do. And so at each of these junctures, there's a very clear part, like yellow brick road laid out in front of you. And what he was saying to me is that it's like even though I've kind of gone slightly away from the medicine thing and more towards this being a creator thing, he was saying that there is a playbook for the being a creator thing as well. It's you build an audience, you start off by repurposing other people's stuff, you maybe do some original insights of your own, you do YouTube, you get different platforms. Eventually you write a book and then you become an angel investor and then you start doing the speaking gigs. And
yeah,
it's like the playbook of the internet creator, entrepreneur, guru type thing.
yeah,
And so what he was saying is that what I'm thinking about, what I'm thinking, like, how do I actually want to design my life? If I do want to straddle these worlds of medicine and the internet, that is there isn't really a playbook for that because very few people do that. Whereas if I want to go entirely one way or the other, there is a very clear playbook to follow. And so when you're in this sort of being pulled in multiple directions with multiple interests, you have to do a lot more original thinking about like, what do I actually want to do and what do I want my life to look like without
yeah.
just blindly following the path laid out in front of you.